Hey friends, Andi here with Uncut with Andi Diamond, and today we are talking marketing for the small business owner, and I have Kelly Primeau with me of CEA Marketing, Second Soul Studios, and Primeau Consulting.
That's right.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. Very busy lady.
You are. So I'm so happy that you're here with me at your beautiful studio.
Thank you.
And we are going to unpack all things marketing today for small business owners.
Yes.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about all of the hats that you wear?
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's a lot. I've been in business for 27 years now, going on. I can't even believe it. It's been a wild ride. So I own CEA Marketing Group, which is we are a full service advertising agency and digital marketing company. So my agency can basically take somebody and help you build a full brand from naming to logo design, website development. After that's done, then we create a full marketing plan and we implement for you. If you already have a brand, a lot of companies come in, they already have a brand, they're ready to scale and really start bringing in a lot of quality leads so they can get up to that next level. That's the perfect time for you to come to my agency. And we can help you build out a full strategy, let you know. And doing a full audit is what I usually like to do. Once we do the audit, we can determine what you need to do in order to get to where you want to go based on your goals. Okay. And then we'll make those recommendations. Once we make the recommendations, we implement the marketing from there.
So for the small business owner, first of all, I recently learned that 35 to 40% of all small businesses are owned by women. And I think, at least for myself, we start our businesses because we're good at something, right? We're not necessarily good at all the things that come with running a small business. I did not know when I left corporate America and I opened up my studio, Andi Diamond Photography, that I was going to have to know marketing and networking and bookkeeping and all these other things. I think I just had stars in my eyes that I love photography. I'm going to start my own photography studio. And I think that's how a lot of women start their businesses. They're really good at something or they're really passionate about something. And so they dive all in to that one thing, not realizing how important marketing is for the small business owner, right?
Right.
And so, for example, when I worked in corporate America, I used to work in a hospital. I did my little slice of the pie, and then I went home. And somebody else within the organization did the marketing, did the networking. I didn't have to do any of those things. So it was very eye-opening for me when I started my own business. Oh, shoot, there's actually a very small percentage of my business that's photography, and the rest is marketing, because that's how you get clients, right?
That is how you get clients.
So share with us some advice, because I know we're going to have a lot of small business owners who feel like they're drowning with marketing. Where do they even begin? Where do they start?
This is a big subject in my opinion. And now that I am getting more involved with women groups and seeing like what they're all up to and where they could be improving upon, is what I'm finding is you're absolutely right on that. Marketing is the one thing that
it's hard.
I'm not so good at this, but I'm really great at that. So what I recommend is you do need to spend time in marketing. It's very important. And I know a lot of us, we love what we do, so we're going to spend more time in the things that we love and less time in the things that we don't love, or the things
we're scared of.
Or something that we don't understand. That kind of like, not sure about that. Or something that we have to spend money on. Because marketing, you have to spend money as well. So there's all those factors that kind of get businesses where they're like, I'm going to wait on that. But I just feel in the very beginning, when you're putting together your business plan and you're just starting out, you have to include marketing in that. And you have to really take a deep dive into what are your goals?
What do you want to accomplish with your business?
What are you trying to accomplish? And taking a look at that first, because a lot of people have different goals for their business. Maybe it's, I need more awareness because I am new. Like nobody knows about me. So awareness is really important. Or maybe it's a more established business that you've been in business for a couple of years and you want to have, how can I get more referrals? How can I keep my current and delight my current clients? Because your current clients are very important to you because they're your biggest source of referrals. So that could be something that could be one of your goals. Or maybe, hey, I'm at this certain point where I've been here for a couple of years and I'm looking to scale. So when I'm looking to scale, what do you need when you're looking to scale? Well, you're going to need more leads coming into your business. Like I need to reach more people so I can sell more. Maybe you're looking to hire people or whatever that might be. So just being very clear on what those goals are, and the marketing really falls around those different categories.
Makes sense.
And it can be a lot very different. And also like, what are you willing to put into the marketing in order to make that happen?
So talk to me about that. I think kind of across the board, most organizations recommend a certain percentage of your gross go towards marketing. What is that number? And where should people be allocating funds based on the low end and based on a slightly higher end?
It's a great question. This is the biggest thing I come into most of my clients. It doesn't even matter. Like I work with national companies all the way to very small businesses, and I'll go in there and I'll be like, "What's your budget?"
I don't know.
I don't know my budget. You tell me what my budget's supposed to be. I'm like, how do you not have a budget? I mean, come on. And like, but yeah, so I usually have to help.
And people just don't know.
No. They don't, or they don't know what they should be doing. So that's the biggest thing, even though they kind of have in their head about what they're willing to spend, but they'll tell you, no, I don't have one. So you want to look at if you're brand new, this needs to be established in your business plan right in the beginning. And I feel like that's when you should have a certain amount of money set beside. So usually it's 5 to 10%. Okay,
of your gross income.
Your gross income, if you're an established business. Now, if you're not an established business, you have a lot of things that you have to do, right? You have to build out a website. You have to do branding. You need business cards, collateral pieces. That's not really a marketing budget. Those are things that you need for your business. Your budget is like, what are you going to spend to bring in
new leads,
and new clients? So that's the spend part of it, whether it's having an event, doing Google ad campaigns, email campaigns, that part of it. And there's also the things that you need to have in order to have a business. So you have to look up those couple things. In the beginning, you should always probably double that, because you're brand new, of whatever your perceived sales are going to be in the beginning.
Explain what that means.
So say I own a studio, Second Soul Studios, because I recently just opened up another business a couple of years ago. I looked at it and I said, well, my first year, I'm hoping to make like $100,000 in my first year, right? So what am I going to need to spend in order to...
So you're saying... if you are predicting that you're going to gross $100,000, that roughly $5,000 to $10,000 of those dollars should be put towards marketing.
Yes. Yep, 5 to 10. But because I knew I was new, I knew
10 to 20.
I knew I needed to do more. So I actually spent the 20, because that's what it would need to get me to where I wanted to go faster. If that makes sense.
It makes total sense, and it scares people, right?
$20,000 is a lot of money for a new business. It is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but it's critical. So what are some of the first steps that you recommend that people take, or the things that are going to have the most impact or the biggest bang for their buck?
The things that are going to have the most impact, again, it really revolves around those goals, right? So if you're a business looking for awareness, like what type of business do you have? Maybe you're a boutique, for example, and they want to get more awareness for their boutique. Well, how they go about doing this, that's their main goal. And how many more people do you want coming into your store? Like, is it your sales goal to increase by 20% in sales? What does that look like? And then from there, how am I going to get there? Well, in order to get more people into the store, you're probably going to have to maybe have a series of events. For example, that could be one thing to bring it in. The next thing would be probably some type of an ads campaign that you're advertising your business. So you'll need like a spend, whether it's social media ads, Google ads, that kind of thing, because that's always going to drive new traffic to your business. The next thing would be maybe hiring a couple influencers out there. So local influencers are the best for a local company. So determining who are those people and how can they help me create a buzz about my business. Which I love. That's what I did for the studio. I probably spent more money in local influencers, joining different groups and seeing who in these groups have the most clout, and let me pay them to help me represent me to bring in more business to the studio. Works really great.
And being consistent. Like, you can't just do these things one time and then never do them again.
No.
Right?
You have to be
you
very
want to be, what is it, a
consistent.
flash in the pan, right? Like you have to be very consistent. So how often should people be doing these things?
All the time.
Always. It's constant.
I always say for a business, when you're putting together a plan, I mean, I see a lot of businesses when I sit down and talk to them, well, we're doing organic social media, but organic social media, that's great. But first of all, do you realize organic social media, only 1 to 3% of people are really seeing your content? So you're spending a lot of time where a lot of people aren't even seeing it. So it's great that you're doing that, but you really should be doing 3 things. So if social is one of them, I always recommend, do some, put in additional dollars to boost some of your posts, run some ads for your posts. Along with that, maybe have a little bit for influencers to come in and help you, promote in these different groups for yourself. And then maybe it's also, once you get the people in with the leads, you want to have a really strong email marketing campaign.
I was just going to talk to you about that.
Yep.
Yeah. So email marketing is not dead.
No.
I know for my studio, I've got about a 35% open rate, which is huge.
That is huge.
For email marketing. So I use a platform called Flowdesk, which I can drop in the show notes later so I can give everybody a discount code so they can try it out. It's very pretty. It's easy. It's simple to use. I think oftentimes as small business owners, a couple of things. We either are intimidated by email marketing. We think nobody's going to open. Nobody cares what it is that we have to say. And it's too difficult, so we just don't do it. And I think people think it's really difficult to build an email list, which none of those things are actually true. It's fear that keeps us from doing these things. But talk to me a little bit about email marketing. Email
marketing, there's 2 things I always say where this is gold in marketing. One of them is email marketing. The other one is retargeting, because these are the people that are interested in your business.
They signed up to be in your newsletter.
They've either come to one of your events, they signed up, they saw an ad, they took the time to put their email address in there.
Which is more valuable than just showing up in their Facebook feed or their Instagram feed.
It is, because in an Instagram feed, people are scrolling. They might see it, they might not. Everyone is very ADD on social media, and they're kind of off to the next thing. But with email, like, everybody checks their email every single day. And if I'm interested in your product and I'm getting an email from you, I'm more than likely to take the time to look at that email and probably engage a little bit more, because it also gives me that opportunity to learn a little bit more about you. And am I interested in this? Am I not? That kind of thing. And sometimes it's being consistent with it also. So if you have somebody in your email list, you should be sending out probably at least once a week some type of email correspondence, and also having some type of retargeting, having a retargeting pixel on on your website. So when I join the website, I'm seeing your email, but I'm also getting retargeted on social media.
That's really smart.
I'm seeing it in both places. Because again, one spot's just not going to be good enough, because again, I'm Kelly. I'm all over the place. I'm ADD. So it's going to take me a few times to see that. By the 7th time, usually by the 7th time someone sees something, they're going to be ready to convert.
I'm glad you just said that, because I have read that it takes 7 to 9 touch points for somebody to take action into doing whatever it is that you're showing them.
Yes.
So that doesn't mean just social media. That doesn't mean just email. It's all the things. And like I said, it's a little bit exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Right? So how can people put together, let's say for the people who are maybe a little bit newer and they don't have the funds just yet to hire a company, what are some things that people can do to help make a marketing strategy for themselves? What would you say are the top few things that they should be doing every week consistently?
Every week consistently. It's not new any longer, but what I see really working for a lot is just there's so many Facebook groups out there. You can be really involved in those groups, and make sure if you join, go on and check every single day. Make sure that you're active. Make sure people know who you are. Let them hear your voice, because the more you engage in those groups, the more people will get to know you. Also, make sure that you go to events where they can get to know you personally, because that makes a big difference as well.
The know, like, and trust factor.
Know, like, and trust.
Yep.
So not only online, but in person. I just notice with me recently starting Second Soul Studios and my Kelly Primeau Consulting, the more I've been out, just, I'm really good at networking, and yeah, the Facebook, the online thing's not really my jam. I'd rather do it in person, but I have noticed that doing the two together really works great. So, and the only thing that costs you is your time to do that. Or you can even hire an AI, not an AI assistant, a virtual assistant that might be able to watch for certain things when they're looking for your product or service. You want to be there and be like, oh yeah, I offer this, or make a recommendation towards somebody else. So that's something that you can do that only takes your time. Also, social media, just being active there, creating reels and just videos.
And that's scary for people. But I think my biggest piece of advice for that, because I love marketing stuff too, you just have to rip off the Band-Aid and do it.
You do.
And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it. But it's a little bit intimidating for some people at first, which I completely understand, but you just have to do it.
You do. I actually just started doing them myself because I'm like, I'm telling all my clients I have to do this. So like every day I try to go on and leave a marketing tip on my Instagram page and on my other social media pages. And sometimes you wonder, is anybody even really watching? Is anybody listening? Especially with marketing, it's kind of a dry, boring subject.
I love it.
Or you might not get as much interaction as you would over something a little spicier and fun, but it does work, because I know it works because people tell me, I saw your video, and I get communicated to in that way. And I've actually picked up a couple really great pieces of business based on people seeing my videos. So
through the videos, just so people can fully understand why we're doing them, you're setting yourself up as the expert in your field.
Yes.
So again, it builds that know, like, and trust factor. But then when people have a need for what it is that you are selling, you're going to be top of mind, because people are going to have seen your videos, gotten your e-newsletters, see you on social media. And by, for example, doing a podcast like this that we're doing together, I'm able to set myself up as the expert in whatever field it is that we're talking about.
Yes.
You're able to set yourself up as the expert in marketing. And so I think when people think marketing, they think, oh, Kelly, I know we're in a lot of the same Facebook groups. And so somebody will ask something about marketing, and almost always I see you getting tagged.
Yes.
So what you're doing is working.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
And I feel like the more you put yourself out there, again, even though it is a little bit intimidating, and there's always going to be people who judge, you just have to not give a crap about that.
Yes.
People are going to know what to associate you with. So ironically, in my Facebook group, my Diamond Girls Facebook group, where I've got about 10,000 women, this morning, one of my very special clients had posted, her and her husband have a plumbing company. It's a brand new company that they're working on together, and they really want to start pushing marketing. I tagged you in the post this morning because she said, what do I even do? I said, oh, well, funny that you should ask, because we're filming a podcast today about marketing. But so again, as soon as she said that, I tagged you in the post and I said, today we're going to be talking about this. So then 3 more women, probably by the time we're done filming and I go back and look at it, there's going to be 6 more women who said, how do I watch this podcast?
Yes.
Because people are hungry for the information that you have to share. You just have to put it out there so people know that you're the one who I go to. So besides doing a podcast, besides doing reels, you can present yourself to be a speaker at events. I love speaking at events, right? How do people do something like that? That's something that I've started doing for myself recently, so that small business owners can know, come to me for your headshots. Come to me for your branding images. And so how do people know about that? I put myself in front of them purposely. I take a big gulp, and you just do it.
You do. Yeah. Speaking of, I speak at a lot of events too. I've been doing it for years. Not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather hide in my studio and do a podcast.
Sure.
But I know that I have to do that. So finding out who these group organizers are and just coming to them with ideas, and also getting to know who are the main players in the groups that you're part of, get to know who they are, and then reach out to them with ideas that will add value to their group. That's the best way to do that.
Adding value. I'm glad that you just said that. You're not just pitching yourself to sell, right? You're give, and then ask. Give, and then ask.
Yes. And it's all about too, like sponsoring events, being there. I am very active in Working Women of Tampa Bay. I love Jessica. She's awesome. She always knows she can come to Kelly. I have this event. Do you want to sponsor? Yes, I will sponsor this. Yeah, I will. I
just did a presentation for her.
Yeah, I will do whatever Jessica asked me to do. But guess what? Jessica also will do whatever she can do for me to promote my business. Sandy Beans, another great one from, Girl Boss. She is wonderful. And, you get to know her personally and let her know, like, hey, I think I can help you, Sandy, because I've owned a business for 27 years. I can be a mentor for a lot of the women in this group. So let me know how I can help you. Right. So she reaches out to me quite a bit, and it's just those getting to
reciprocating relationships.
Mm-hmm. But it's all about, asking and being involved. I'm giving them great ideas, but also supporting as well. Yes. Like, don't expect that you need to say, I'm gonna pay money to sponsor this or be involved. Like, don't always expect something for free.
I think people
that makes a big difference.
For sure. And I think people think when they go to some of these marketing events, hey, here's my business card, refer me. It doesn't work like that. That's kind of icky, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of a type of feeling. And so you have to invest into your clients and into your prospective clients. And then the hope is in return, they're going to do the same. So it's a reciprocating relationship.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. One of the things that I learned very quickly when I started my own business, when I started my studio, is you have to be cognizant of your time. Because when it comes to marketing, you could market 24 hours a day. You can. Right? Mm-hmm. And it does become exhausting. So you do have to be aware of how thin can I spread myself and still be effective.
That's very true. And I think there's also a point where I find a lot of businesses trying to do too much for themselves, marketing is tricky. If you don't know, if that's not your skill, I highly recommend that you take the time to talk to somebody and get some help. Whether, there's mentors out there. Like I just recently started Kelly Primeau Consulting, so I can help smaller businesses kind of figure these things out. But it's finding somebody that knows more than you do to bring them in to help them with your business.
And to speak your voice, right? Because whoever it is that you hire, they need to know your goals, like what you said earlier, and how to communicate that to clients and to prospective clients as if they are the ones speaking.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's really important. Anybody that you hire in marketing should really be taking the time to get to know you. You should have calls set up with them before you allow them to do anything. They should be asking you, what are your goals, and really sitting down and having a discovery session to really get to know you. And the other thing I recommend before you work with anyone is ask them after they have this call, say, I would like to see a sample of work.
Yes.
And have them show you something to make sure that it's going to fit your persona. Because a lot of times you'll also might find that there's a lot of people out there that they're saying that they're marketing experts. Just because they take some online course does not make them a marketing expert. You have to be in this for a very long time and truly understand. So make sure you're asking them, what makes you an expert?
Right.
Like, what's your background?
Right.
Ask them those questions. Did you work for an agency in the past? Like, what kind of clients are you currently managing? What certifications? Facebook offers certifications for Meta. Are you Meta certified? Are you, if they're running your Google ads, are they Google certified? Because Google has levels of certifications, and ask to see them and follow up, because a lot of these people, I can guarantee you most of them don't. And probably a handful of them do.
Okay.
But so many people don't ask those questions.
I would not have known to ask that question.
Or ask the question, I want, make me a week schedule and let me look at the work.
Right.
And usually when I hire from my agencies, I always do a test so we can see, here's a client of ours. I want you to come up with a strategy. And so when they give us a strategy, we'll be like,
it's weak.
It's weak. It's really good. It's creative. Like, we have a scoring system. You need to create a scoring system for your business for the people that you work with.
Okay.
Especially if you're starting to freelance out, because smaller businesses might not be able to afford an
big marketing
agency or a marketing company. So in the beginning, you probably are going to have to outsource, but be very, very careful, because I see a lot of companies hiring the wrong people, and then they get sour. And I'm like, I don't want to do marketing because it didn't work for me. It's not that it didn't work for you. It's that you hired the wrong people to help you.
Makes sense. Can we talk a little bit about the elephant in the room? AI.
Yes.
And as you were talking about with marketing, people need to know what it is that they're doing. And I find that year to year, month to month, day to day, how we market is changing.
It's changing.
And AI and ChatGPT have changed the game for the better and for the worse.
Yes.
So let's chat a little bit about ChatGPT and AI and how businesses can use it to their advantage and make sure that it's working for them in a positive way.
Yes, I love AI. A lot of companies like mine, and a lot of people that are in marketing, it is scary because of all the things that it can do. But
good and evil.
Good and evil. So it's just there's so many things that are going to be changing. I think there's going to be a lot of regulations that we're going to see coming up in the very near future regarding it. But I do feel as a business owner, it can help you save so much time if you utilize it the right way.
Okay. What are some of your favorite AI tools?
So I have a couple. Obviously, GPT chat is really great. I always use the paid versions, because the paid versions will give you a lot more that you can utilize with it. So with the $20 a month, I think with GPT Chat 4, you can actually attach PDFs in the chat, so it will read PDFs for you, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can ask it to build out images through Midjourney.
I don't know what that is.
Midjourney is like a Dolly. So Dolly is like, say, I want you to make a picture of two women in a podcast studio doing a podcast, and it will like make an image of that.
What?
The best of its ability, and sometimes it comes out really good, and other times
Sometimes you're like, whoa.
oh, try again. But you can coach it. You can say, no, like, both, we can have it like, or I can give a picture of you, Andi, and of me, and have it make an AI version of our podcast.
That
which is kind of
wild,
fun.
Yeah.
Because AI images tend to be they're on trend right now.
Right.
So
I wouldn't even have to put on my makeup.
Yeah, right. They kind of cartoon us a little bit, but you can say make it cartoony, make it more realistic, however you want to make that image. You can even have it build logos for you. And I was playing around with my husband, has a parking lot in Fort Myers Beach and Norm's Beach parking. And I go, Chris, we need to change your logo. So I went into chat and I had it build out all these different types of vintage logos.
That's
a couple of them, they weren't perfect, but
Sure.
I could then take those vintage logos and I took them to my designer and said, I like this idea, but let's tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll actually give you some ideas that you can take to your graphic designer, your marketing company, and be like, I kind of like this look.
How can we make it more me?
Yep. You can also go the advanced version of chat. It's called a GPT. And a GPT is something that you can give it all the information about your business. So I go in and fill it, I have 3 different businesses. I upload all kinds of different images, give it pictures, give it my strategies that I'm working on, give it everything it can possibly know. And then your personal GPT, you can actually go into it and say, create an email for me, create a social strategy, and all the information's already stored in there, and your own GPT. So I have a Kelly Primeau Consulting GPT. So when I do my social schedules, it knows exactly what to do for me without a lot of training.
It's so wild. It is so crazy.
The more information that you can give it, the better. But usually with chat, you have to start up a new chat and give it that information every single time. Where if you create your own GPT in 4, it will do that.
It knows your voice a little bit better. Let's talk about websites. Websites aren't dead either.
No.
Right? So how often should people be looking at their websites? First of all, if they don't already have a website, how critical is it to have a website?
Website, to me, I always tell everybody this, website is the nucleus of your marketing. Okay. It's the center of everything. Everything kind of revolves around it.
Yep. It's your home base.
It's your home base. And I know there's so many, and it gets crazy out there too, because, you have Facebook groups and Facebook Messenger and like
Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram. And I kind of see everybody kind of venturing off, and I'm always, but everything really, all your marketing should be leading them back to your website. Because that's where people can come back and learn more about you, about your business. You can put a lot of information within there. And this is where I think there's a big miss with a lot of companies is I go to a lot of websites. I'm like, when I get there, I'm like, I don't understand what you do.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. Or I don't understand.
Right.
Like, and if I don't understand when I get there what you're trying to
analysis paralysis, I'm out of here.
What's the why behind it? I'm out. I'm going to bounce off of that and go look someplace else. So you really need to start taking overview of your website and really find out right away. You need to capture them with the why, and make it more about them and make sure you're answering their pain points. What are the 5 main pain points of your buyer? You need to understand that and be able to articulate that right in the beginning. And if you're able to answer and help people out, you're going to keep them on your website longer. If you don't, they're going to bounce and go someplace else.
How often do you think people should be doing an overhaul of their website? And I'm totally guilty of forgetting about mine.
You should be paying attention to your website all the time, because what I find is businesses that aren't in their website and constantly working on their website, every couple of years you're going to have a brand new website because technology changes that fast. Right. So you're going to have a complete rework where you're going to spend the money, or you could like just ongoing doing checks. I recommend also, search yourself online. Go and type in the keywords for your business. Okay. See how you show up. If you're not showing, not for your name, I'll put your name in then too, because sometimes people don't even show up for their name. That's a big problem. Number one. If you don't show up under your business name, okay, you need to come talk to me right away. Right. But with the keywords of how is somebody searching for your business, usually there's 3 or 4. Sometimes there's a phrase that we put in. Try a bunch of those. Are you coming up? If you're a local business, if you're not showing up right away within the Google Maps, because usually it's for local, you'll have the Google profiles that will pop up first, and it will list them all on the map, but it only lists like the top 5, and then you have to scroll through them. Most people that search online are only going to probably go to those top
first
5.
Page, yeah.
They're not going to go any further.
Do you have any tips or tricks for people to get to the first page?
There's something really simple, and this is something, you mentioned something that you can do for your business without having to hire somebody. It's now called Google Profile. It used to be called Google My Business. Okay. Google Profile. Okay. Yeah, so that's usually when someone's searching, that's going to be the first thing that pops up about your business, especially if you're brick and mortar. There's another way to do it if you're like a home-based business, but you want to make sure that you're showing up, and you go into your Google profile and you fill out everything in that profile as detailed as you possibly can. If you fix this, that will help you right away. So you want to go in there and you have a description, use all the characters and be very descriptive about your business. Okay. First of all, make sure you have great images. You're a photography business. You should be
I got that down.
You should be showing some of those photos on there, because sometimes I just might go to my Google profile. I'll do it with restaurants all the time. I'll go to the Google profile, I'll scroll through the pictures of the restaurant or the food, and I'll right away disqualify them if they don't have anything on there, and find another one that has great images of food. Oh, wow, this place looks really good. We're going to go here. Okay. So by having great images on your site, make sure you update your Google profile at least once a month. Okay. With new images, video, all your products. You can list out all your products, all your services. It's very detailed. You used to actually be able to build a website in Google profile, but now it's just basically this filling it out to everything that it asks you to fill out, and being very descriptive and making sure you're using those keywords of how people search for your business. Your Google profile will usually pop up before your website does. Okay. But you have an opportunity to link your website
Google profile
and your Google profile, so they'll find your website there. Okay. So that will help you get on the map, which is important by having that optimized.
Okay. And one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people fail to do, it should be very easy to find out how to contact you on your website. Phone number, email, what city you're located in or what city you serve. That should be like front and center, right? And I think a lot of people forget that. So that's just a little tidbit that I'd like to add in.
Well, I could go on and on about that part of it. Yeah, I think they lack CT, call to action as well. You should have on your website, after every paragraph, there should be some type of call to action.
Give me a call. Let's talk.
Yes. Book a session now.
Right.
Any of those types of things all throughout. So it gives me the opportunity. I just read something that interests me. I can click on that and fill out that information. So you want to make it really easy.
Because we're lazy. People are lazy. I don't have to search to figure out how to call you or why I should be calling you, right?
Right.
Make it very easy.
The other thing is answer your phone calls.
Yes. And if somebody calls you, you should be calling them back if possible. You should be calling them back that day, if not within an hour.
Exactly.
An hour. And if you're unable to, or if if you're open to texting, shoot them a quick text. I'm in the middle of something right now. I will call you by the end of the day today, because people are going to move on.
They will move on. They will discount you. I think that's the biggest challenge. I see most business, how they fail is they are horrible communicators.
Talk about that. Yes, please.
Communicate. And this isn't even if you're going to do well in your business, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to follow up. You need, especially if that person asks you for a proposal, make sure that you're constantly communicating with them the whole time. I think we live in a world of, we work so hard for it, but so many people just dropping the ball where they don't get back to you. And
if you are so busy that you're unable to get back to your clients and your prospective clients, hire a VA so that they can monitor your calls for you, monitor your emails for you, so that way nothing slips through the cracks. And we're all human. I get it that it happens sometimes, but people expect to hear back from you that same day, if not within an hour. And I know the percentage of conversions every day that you wait to call somebody back, it drops significantly.
It does drop. The hour is so important because we're so used to with the internet getting what we want quickly. So it's the same thing. If you're looking for that service, you want that right then,
right now.
But I'm a busy person.
I get it.
You don't give me what I want now,
I'm moving on.
I'm busy, and I probably won't take your call the next day or the day after because I've moved on.
You've moved on. You found somebody else. I totally understand that. So since most small businesses don't have a huge marketing budget, and we're hopefully giving people some tips today on what they can do to really maximize their marketing, one of the things that you talked about earlier was content creators. How can we ourselves be our own content creators? What can we do to put content out there? And for example, what we're doing right now, video is huge, right? So how can people create their own content? What platforms should they be using to create their own content? What should they be talking about? Where should they be sharing things?
That's great. You need to have a full strategy when you're creating your content. Don't just create it to create content. Have a purpose behind it. Usually, you want to figure out who's your ideal client. Okay.
That's the biggest thing, is your client avatar.
Yeah, who is that client avatar, and where are they spending their time? And if you don't know, you can Google it. There's all kinds of articles.
Or ask them. Just ask your client. Once you have some VIP clients and you really have a great relationship with them,
great advice.
Just
yes.
ask them. They want to tell you. People want to tell you about themselves.
They do. And a lot of times it's not always where you think that where they are. You might, I think that we should be doing Instagram and Facebook. But you might find out after you talk to your avatar in person that that's not where they are. So you really have to find out, so you're just not spending a lot of time, because you can spend a lot of time on Instagram.
Wasted time.
Instagram is like a difficult platform to work on because you have to be very strategic to get where you want it for engagement or for anything that you do on there. So you want to make sure that if you're going to spend time on Instagram, are your clients really on Instagram? If they're not, then
don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time with that. Go someplace else.
Like, I know, for example, a good majority of my clients, I know exactly who my client avatar is. I know what she looks like. I know how old she is. I know where she goes shopping. I know her education level. I know her relationship status, how many children she has. I know who she is. And I think that's really important for small business owners to know who their client avatar is. And that's not to say that I don't ever deviate from my client avatar. It's just to say that's who I'm going to put. Like, I'm going to put the majority of my eggs in my Susie Q avatar basket. because those are the people who resonate with me and I resonate with the most. So the majority of my clients, I have discovered through the years, are not on TikTok. They're not on Instagram. The majority of them are still on Facebook because the majority of my clients are females in their 40s to 50s. So that doesn't mean that they don't have an Instagram that they're checking out. It doesn't mean that they're not on TikTok, they're not on Snap, but most of them are on Facebook. So I spend the majority of my marketing dollars, I know you've run some Facebook ads for me, on Facebook, because that's where my clients hang out. So it's very important to know, where are your clients spending their time? And if they're not on social media at all, what are they doing in the community? How do they want to be reached? Do they want to be texted? Do they want to get their email newsletters? Like, how do they consume their information?
Yeah, there's also, you can do some A/B testing with that too, because you might find that a couple different things work really well together, which is nice. Because I love what you mentioned about email and texting. We are starting to see, because then sometimes there's maybe a crossover in generations, for example, because you might have some that are more like, I'm more of an email person, but there's also a lot of people that love text. So what we're doing is we're doing a combination of an email and text campaign, and we're finding that, wow, this texting thing, we're probably getting more traction with that
texting
than with the email. But the two done together work really well. That's for, like, we do a lot of realtor marketing for my home builders, and I just recently started adding the text into this. Actually, I think I did it for one of Pete's grand openings.
I think so, yeah.
We sent out a few texts beforehand, and honestly, it brought in another 50 people to that event. Like, it has double, quadrupled attendance and everything that we do by adding in texting. Who knew?
Right.
It works really well. But I would never, I'd always tell my clients, like, do them together. Don't abuse texting either, because
it gets annoying.
Yeah, it gets annoying. The same thing with social media. You're probably going to find that it's more than one thing that's going to work.
I think one of the biggest things also to realize as a small business owner is odds are there's never going to be just one thing that you do one time and suddenly you don't have to do anything ever again. It's just not how it is. Like, it is constant. It is ever evolving. It's ever changing. And you have to be consistent with it. Like, there's not going to be just one Facebook ad that you run and now suddenly you never have to do anything ever again. Like, it's just not how it is. I wish.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have some that fail and some that work, and you have to do a lot of testing, trying different platforms, being consistent. If you want to start running campaigns online, you have to give it at least 3 months, because a month isn't going to give you a lot of data. Sometimes it takes a while just for an ad to start running, and it's machine learning,
getting
right?
Traction.
The Facebook ads, they're learning who your audience is. So it takes about a month for them to really learn. And then after a couple of months, then you'll probably start seeing more traction with ads. The same thing with Google, running Google ads in the beginning. It's going to be a slow, and all of a sudden after a couple of months is when you're really, after month 3, where we really start seeing really solid results.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
So don't give up after the first month.
Right. Well, and I think that's easy to do, especially if you're a smaller business and you've got limited funds. It's easy after a month to go, it didn't work, I can't do it anymore. And maybe you were just on the precipice right there of, like, really reaching out to a target audience that maybe you hadn't tapped into before.
Yes.
Kelly, tell me, are there any other little tidbits or snippets that you want to share in this podcast of just marketing tips and tricks that are relatively easy for people to implement, or things that you think that they should be doing today in their business?
Number one is if you get to know AI, there's a couple things, we can put them in the chat, but I love to use a couple different AI tools. One is Claude AI, and one is obviously Chat GPT. It will become your best friend and a huge time saver with writing emails, writing social content.
Copy.
If you're having a hard time coming up with, like, your brand pillars, what content should I write about, it will help you with those things. And it's a huge time saver. So use those tools. It will help you with your business. Also, you need to have some type of a budget and a plan to market your company. You can't expect to get great results and to stay in business if you don't spend money on your business.
My husband's stepdad used to say, let me make sure I get it right, because he's passed away now, and so I want to do him right. You can't eat like an ant and poop like an elephant. Right. But he didn't say poop. But you have to put something into it to get something out of it.
You have to.
You know?
Because if you don't, you're just going to either keep doing what you're doing, or sooner or later, and then you're going to get frustrated, and it will fizzle out. If you take the time to invest money, if you don't have the money, there's all kinds of resources that are available through SBA, and there is funding out there. There are ways to get money, especially for women-owned businesses. There's a lot that you can do, that you can apply for, that will give you that $20,000 that you need for your marketing plan. You just have to have a good business plan to back it up. But if you have any questions, I've applied for a ton of loans.
That's a great idea.
During the time that I've been in business, and I've had a lot of help out there. You just have to know where to go and who to ask for that funding, and that those dollars can be used for marketing.
That's a great idea. I'm very appreciative of your time today, and for bringing us into your beautiful studio here in Clearwater.
Yay, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. And friends, again, I'm Andi with Uncut with Andi Diamond. We are here to inspire, educate, and entertain, and please make sure to join us next time.
Yay.
Bye.